The Hollow Man of Willow Creek, A Tale of Shadows and Sacrifice. 1. The forgotten town. You've always heard whispers about that place. Willow Creek, hidden in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, had become a ghost town decades ago. As a freelance journalist chasing the next big story, I thought uncovering its secrets would be my ticket to fame. But now, looking back, I wish I had left it buried. The rumors said it was once a booming coal mining town. In the 1950s, a string of disappearances started. Miners, townsfolk, even travelers passing through. By 1962, the town was completely abandoned. Locals believed it was cursed, haunted by the souls of those who vanished. I didn't believe in curses, but what I found there made me question everything. It began innocently enough. I arrived with my photographer, Lucy, and my friend, Sam, an amateur historian. The road into Willow Creek was overgrown, and the air grew colder the closer we got. The town itself was frozen in time. Rusted signs, decaying buildings, and eerie silence. We set up base in what appeared to be the old hotel. The walls were covered in cryptic symbols, and the guestbook lay open on the front desk. The last entry was dated July 15, 1962, with the words, "He is coming," scribbled underneath. 2. The cryptic discovery. Our first night was uneventful, but by morning, things took a turn. Lucy's camera was missing, only to reappear hours later with photos she hadn't taken. The images were blurry but unmistakably showed people standing in the shadows of the abandoned buildings. Sam, always the skeptic, laughed it off, insisting it was a trick of the light. But Lucy and I weren't convinced. We decided to dig deeper. The town library was surprisingly intact, and within its dusty shelves, we found records of the disappearances. Each case was eerily similar. No signs of struggle, no clues left behind, just gone. We also found references to a local legend, the Hollow Man, a faceless figure said to wander the woods surrounding the town. Some believed he was a miner who had struck a cursed vein of coal. Others thought he was something far older, a guardian of the land who demanded sacrifices. 3. The night we should have left that evening, we heard it, a low, guttural humming coming from the woods. It vibrated through the air, setting my teeth on edge. Lucy suggested leaving immediately, but Sam insisted on staying. "This is just what we need for the story," he said, trying to mask his unease. Around midnight, the humming stopped, replaced by footsteps outside the hotel. Lucy peeked through the window and froze. "There's someone out there," she whispered. I looked too and saw them, shadowy figures standing motionless in the street, staring at the building. We barricaded the doors and huddled together, listening as the footsteps grew louder, circling the hotel. And then, just as suddenly as it started, the noise stopped. We didn't sleep that night. 4. The underground secret. Next day, we decided to leave, but our car wouldn't start. We had no choice but to explore further, hoping to find answers or help. Near the old church, we discovered a hidden trapdoor leading to a network of tunnels beneath the town. The air was thick with the smell of decay. The tunnels were lined with strange carvings, symbols matching those in the hotel. As we ventured deeper, we found what looked like a ritual chamber. In the center was a massive, blood-stained altar. Scattered around the room were items belonging to the missing people: a miner's helmet, a child's toy, a woman's necklace. It was clear this place had been used for something unspeakable. 5. The Hollow Man's domain. That's when we heard the humming again, this time much louder. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. We turned to leave but found the tunnel behind us had collapsed. Panic set in as the humming grew deafening. Then we saw him, the Hollow Man. He emerged from the shadows, a towering figure with no face, just a void where his features should be. His presence was suffocating, his movements unnaturally fluid. Lucy screamed and bolted, and Sam and I followed. We ran blindly through the tunnels, the Hollow Man's guttural hum echoing behind us. Somehow, we found an exit and emerged into the cold night air, our lungs burning. 6. The unfinished story. Didn't stop running until we reached the edge of the woods. Our car was still dead, so we walked until we found a gas station hours later. The attendant looked shocked when we told him where we'd been. "You're lucky to be alive," he said. "Most don't make it out." Lucy's photos from the Tunnels were corrupted, and Sam refused to talk about what happened. I wrote the story, but no major outlet would publish it. They said it was too unbelievable. To this day, I'm haunted by what we saw in Willow Creek. I still hear the humming in my dreams, and sometimes I see shadowy figures out of the corner of my eye. I've tried to move on, but I know the Hollow Man hasn't forgotten us. And if you ever find yourself near Willow Creek, take my advice, stay far away. 7. The return weeks passed, but the nightmares didn't. I could hear the hum, the same haunting vibration. In the silence of my home, Lucy had gone off the grid, and Sam, well, he stopped returning my calls. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. One night, I found an envelope on my doorstep. Inside was a single photograph. It was a picture of the Willow Creek Hotel, taken from the woods. In the background, just barely visible, was the outline of the Hollow Man. The message was clear: I had to go back. 8. A team assembles. Realizing I couldn't face this alone, I reached out to a team of paranormal investigators. They were skeptics, but intrigued. Dr. Adrian Locke, a historian specialized in cults, Nia, a tech expert, carried state-of-the-art cameras and sensors. Paul, an ex-police officer, provided protection. Together, we returned to Willow Creek. 9. First night back. First night was worse than I could have imagined. Humming surrounded the camp, and strange symbols appeared etched into our equipment. By morning. 10. Deeper into the woods. Expanded our search, and covering a forgotten graveyard with cryptic headstones. Each headstone bore a single date and no names, only the same ominous carving, a faceless figure. 11. The Forgotten Gravis team stumbled upon the graves of miners who disappeared in 1952. An old map hidden in a headstone revealed the layout of underground tunnels leading to the Forbidden Chamber. 12. A growing rift. Tensions rise between the team members as strange occurrences continue. Lucy becomes erratic, claiming she hears voices calling her. 13. The Forbidden Chamber map leads to a chamber filled with ancient carvings depicting faceless entities surrounding sacrifices. Paul disappears during the exploration. 14. Lucy's descent. Lucy's behavior worsens as she begins drawing symbols on the walls. The team debates whether to leave or confront the curse. 15. Paul's revelation. Paul reappears, disoriented, holding a diary from 1860. The diary reveals a pact made by the town to protect its wealth in exchange for blood sacrifices. 16. The entity awakens. Hollow Man manifests fully, attacking the group. Dr. Locke identifies the ritual to banish the entity, but it requires a life. 17. Sacrifice. Esmia sacrifices herself to weaken the Hollow Man, giving the team a chance to flee. Lucy, now possessed, leads them deeper into the tunnels. 18. The final pactor. Locke reveals his hidden agenda to take control of the Hollow Man's power but underestimates the entity's will. 19. The Hollow Man's wrath. Entity grows stronger, consuming the souls of the fallen. The survivors use the diary to prepare for a final confrontation. 20. The Eternal rest. In an epic showdown, the narrator sacrifices themselves to complete the ritual, destroying the Hollow Man and freeing the town from its curse. 1. The aftermath. Town of Willow Creek fell silent after the ritual, its eerie humming replaced by a profound stillness. Lucy, though freed from the Hollow Man's possession, bore the scars of her ordeal physically and emotionally. The group, now fractured and haunted. DISBNDD. Dr. Locke took the diary for further research, vowing to uncover the deeper origins of the curse. Meanwhile, rumors spread of the Hollow Man's destruction, attracting adventurers and thrill-seekers to the cursed town. 22. Lucy's haunting. Lucy moved back to her family home, hoping to escape the memories of Willow Creek. However, her nights were plagued with vivid nightmares. Shadows seemed to move independently in her house, and she began hearing whispers in the dead of night. Desperate for answers, she contacted a medium who confirmed her worst fear: the Hollow Man had left a piece of himself within her. 3. The Whispering Woods. Locke, continuing his research, discovered a connection between the Hollow Man and an ancient Native American legend. The forest surrounding Willow Creek was said to be a liminal space where spirits roamed freely. Locke's research hinted at the existence of more entities beyond the Hollow Man. These revelations coincided with reports of new disappearances in the woods. To 4. Rebuilding the team. Paul, riddled with guilt over his survival, sought to reunite the remaining team members. He approached Lucy and Locke, proposing they return to Willow Creek to uncover the truth and ensure no one else fell victim to the town's curse. Reluctantly, Lucy agreed, and the three prepared for a final journey into the heart of darkness. To 5. The Hollow Man's shadow. Returning to Willow Creek, the group found the town eerily different. It seemed to breathe with life, yet no one was present. Buildings that had been crumbling now stood intact, and the forest appeared denser. The group discovered that the ritual had not destroyed the Hollow Man but had merely bound him deeper into the land, intertwining him with Willow Creek itself. To 6. A new generation. As the group explored further, they encountered a group of teenagers who had come to Willow Creek after hearing the urban legends. The teenagers were ill-prepared for the horrors that awaited them, and the team took it upon themselves to protect them. However, their presence reawakened dormant energies, and the humming returned. 27. The resurgence of Hollow Man, though weakened, began to manifest again, targeting the teenagers and the group. His form was more fragmented, but his power was undiminished. The forest itself became an adversary, with trees moving to block their paths and shadows forming into physical threats. The group realized that the ritual had only paused the curse and that a greater sacrifice was needed. 28. Lucy's redemption. Lucy, realizing her connection to the Hollow Man was the key to ending his influence, offered herself as a conduit for a final ritual, guided by the diary and Dr. Locke's research. She led the group to the center of the forest. There, they discovered an ancient altar older than Willow Creek itself, pulsating with dark energy. To 9. The final battle of Hollow Man emerged in full force. His fragmented form now a swirling mass of shadows and voids. The group used everything at their disposal: incantations from the diary, symbols drawn in salt, and their own resilience to contain him. Lucy stood at the altar, reciting the ritual while the others defended her from shadowy figures that attacked relentlessly. 30. The eternal silence. With a final cry, Lucy completed the ritual, sacrificing herself to sever the Hollow Man's connection to the physical world. The entity dissolved into a cacophony of whispers before vanishing entirely. Willow Creek fell silent, its oppressive atmosphere lifting for the first time in decades. The remaining survivors left the town, vowing never to return, though peace was restored. The cost was etched into their souls, and the memory of the Hollow Man lingered, a reminder of the darkness that had once consumed Willow Creek.